Dude, I got a 6'9" wingspan. I can grab somebody's jersey and keep them far away and still keep landing.
Bro's metagaming the combat. How about get good at hockey? maybe practice the sport.
Learn how sneak attack works, and then you can play hockey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's get a couple. You're a couple steps below beating up a professional hockey player. Like I respect the aspirations, but you're not quite there yet. Fun fact about this content creator. I did tweet at this content creator like 8 months ago and asked for permission to react to some of their stuff. He never responded. Probably because I'm literally nobody. I just find that very funny. And I think 8 months is a reasonable amount of time to wait for a response.
You tried.
I say, hey, no one can say I didn't try. Please don't kill me. This dude is hilarious. And then so he's got this video about the Broad Street Bullies, or I believe the Philadelphia Flyers, and their big story. And it popped into my head when we were talking last night, and you mentioned like the Miracle on Ice and that whole story, and I thought it sounded kind of familiar, and then I realized that it sounds an awful lot like this like story that he talks about. And so I was like, I think it'd be super cool for you guys to check it out. None of us know anything about the sport, but I'm told hockey consists of a large amount of fighting, which at the very least could be mildly entertaining. So let's get to embarrassing ourselves with our massive repository of sports knowledge of not football.
We know sports, we just don't know hockey.
Yeah, well, I know only American football, so.
Yeah, well, and we know baseball and football very well.
Well, those are basically the same sport, though, so.
In the words of Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan until you punch him in the face.
It's
Today
a valid point.
War on Ice. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite movies of all time is the Disney movie Miracle. If you've never seen it, the quick and dirty synopsis of the entire movie is basically the Soviet Union Red Army hockey team was undefeated for like ever. They'd won all the Olympic medals. They were winning all the world titles. They were absolutely the best hockey team on the planet, allegedly. Yet the 1980s American Olympic hockey team managed to band together a bunch of
This is a lot of footage from a Disney movie. I hope the mouse doesn't come for me. That would be awkward.
Shedding their egos and coming together as a team to beat the Soviet Red Army hockey team.
That mouse has a lot of lawyers.
It's very inspiring. It's got a real Disney appropriate message, but in that movie, they're showing off all the highlights of the Russians, and the coach is explaining how undefeatable this Russian hockey team is. And part of that movie, they go in to explain how the Soviets keep coming over every single year and playing all the American NHL professional teams, and they beat up on them too. But what the movie fails to mention, and probably because it does not have a Disney appropriate message, is that there was one NHL hockey team that not only did not get beat up by the Soviet Red Army team, but whooped their ass so bad that they tried to quit mid-game, and then they had to force them to come back out and continue playing. And that team is the 1976 Philadelphia Flyers, aka Broad Street Bullies. But first, a word from our sponsor.
That's the B-roll you need. Just a hockey player beating the hell out of another player.
Because I gotta separate my beard from my chest hair.
I mean, realistically speaking, for this being Philadelphia makes so much sense based on the way that they react to everything.
Well, I've seen Philly burn down their own city when they win. Like you're not even a loss. They just burn the city because
the White Bulls for the Super Bowl.
One day they're like, what if we just precision machined a razor that was super nice that you could buy one time?
Dude, that's the city that pioneered the brotherly shove, you know? They're real close over there in Philly.
You could spend like $7
they get all up on that.
Razors and be good for a couple of years. So that's what they did. They built a product that looks cooler, it works better, it's actually cheaper than the competition, and the best part of all is
I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm letting his ad read play, even though Henson Shaving does not give me any money.
That's going out here doing dumb shit like
a razor.
Gel pads on
just what we all use, because I'm pretty sure we all just use a
I just use a trimmer, yeah. I got a beard. I'll admit it, I got a beard.
I'm pretty sure none of us use the actual razor.
Discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. But to understand this full story, we need to start from the beginning. In 1967, the NHL was expanding. They were going to add 6 new hockey teams, and one of those teams that they were going to add was the Philadelphia Flyers.
Is it bad that I don't know how many hockey teams we currently have?
The Philadelphia Flyers hockey team are
like a bunch?
They're just straight up business guys that think that this could be a worthwhile venture to make a bunch of money. Now, this might not seem really important, but it actually is.
Damn, I was close.
No, that's my guess.
Oh, I'm gonna get. It has to be an even number, right? So divisible by 2 at least. So I'm gonna say 32.
32, 28, 18.
Like 2 brackets of 16, maybe. That sounds fair. It's gonna be like 12. It's gonna be really embarrassing for us. I just know that the Bruins are one of them.
Me too.
How many?
I knew it.
32. So it's the NFL.
See, it's the NFL. That's what I was thinking. I was like, you have to have 2 sets of 16, right?
So
no. It's so 4 sets of 8.
Oh, well, if you think about it, 4 sets of 8 is just 2 sets of 8, 16 if you squint. So
most important part of the story, and it changes the face of hockey as we know it, because you have to realize at the upper echelons of management at this team, there's nobody that's actually in it for the love of the sport, okay? They're all in it for money, and the money comes from winning.
Capitalism, baby.
I'm trying to tell you, the Philadelphia Flyers is going to have some real loose morals when it comes to how that winning gets done, okay? Tradition, sportsmanship, put all that shit off to the side. We're trying to make money.
I'm talking about this.
So they go in, they have their first season, and at this point
business,
in time, with all these new hockey teams coming in, there's kind of this stigma around all the new hockey teams that, like, these are the JV teams, they're not actually part of the NHL, they're not as good as the OG NHL teams. And because of that, at this point in time, whenever one of the original NHL teams is playing one of the expansion teams, there's kind of that extra incentive to perform exceptionally well in front of everybody and kind of beat up on the new
that makes sense. The rookie crushing mindset. That's in most sports. You got to beat up on the new guys. You got to take his lumps.
Playing the St. Louis Blues, and the Blues go in there and literally physically beat the shit out of them, and then that's how they won the hockey game. At which point the Flyers are like, write that down. It's hard to play hockey after you get your ass kicked. So at this point, the Flyers management proceeds to do what I can only describe as essentially building the Monstars from Space Jam.
I am not putting knives on the bottom of my feet. I can't walk already.
Dude, I got a 6'9" wingspan. I can grab somebody's jersey and keep them far away and still keep landing.
Bro's metagaming the combat. How about get good at hockey? maybe practice the sport.
Learn how sneak attack works, and then you can play hockey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's get a couple. You're a couple steps below beating up a professional hockey player. Like I respect the aspirations, but you're not quite there yet.
It's a nice beer league and beat the shit out of people.
Yeah,
you're supposed to beat at a beer league,
but you can.
I feel like you get a charge then.
What, on my card for the fucking tab? That's already a given.
Right? Yeah, that kind of charge.
Yeah, definitely.
Suffering succotash. They're monsters.
Dude,
in the draft that
Jam.
year, there's this young hotshot college player that's like really, really good by the name of David Clark. The problem is nobody wants to draft this kid because he's a diabetic, and apparently everybody thinks that that's going to be a huge issue when it comes to him playing hockey at the highest level. So the Flyers go out to like the best diabetic doctors in the country, and they're like, "Hey, is this true?
I mean, I guess maybe.
You know, what's the deal?
It's not really a physically crippling disease, so long as you have a
doctor. If he follows his protocol and eats and does what he's supposed to be doing as a diabetic, he's going to be just fine." So the Flyers draft him. So now the Flyers have their star. They have their Peyton Manning. They have their Brett Favre.
Oh, football mention. I know those people.
To grind because no other team was willing to stick their neck out for him. So this dude is 100%.
Asterisk. We do not support Brett Favre anymore because he defraud a bunch of orphans. Isn't that what he did?
Allegedly, I never supported Brett Favre.
Allegedly defrauded a bunch of orphans or welfare or Social Security. He's not a good guy. I think. And yeah, also he's a Packer, so you know.
Yeah.
Negative 10 points.
He ain't packing nothing.
Going out there with a point to prove. So now the Philadelphia Flyers have their star. They have the heart of the team. They have their skill player. What are we going to do next? We're going to treat him like he is an NFL quarterback, and we are just going to build an offensive line to protect him. They go out and hire what I'm going to describe as the 4 horsemen of violence. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read off some of their stats.
What a
Bear
moniker.
in mind, these are career stats, and their careers aren't over yet. So these are not the stats that they have at the current time that they're being brought in, but this is going to give you an idea of who these men are. Also, important context, if you don't know anything about hockey, when you get penalty minutes in hockey, it's essentially you get taken off the ice and you have to go sit in a penalty box and you're not allowed to play for a certain amount of
the timeout box,
as I'm sure you can imagine from like football or any other sport, you know, if your star running back gets
penalized, very familiar with that.
To play for 3 minutes of game time, it can drastically shape the entire course of the game. So penalty minutes are a big deal. So with that in mind, our first horseman is Andre the Moose DuPont, coming in at 6 foot 200 pounds with 1,191 minutes
just
in the penalty box. Then we've got Don Selesky, aka Big Bird, coming in at 6'3", 210 pounds with 1,129 career penalty minutes. And then we've got Bob Kelly, aka The Hound, coming in at 5'10", 185 pounds with 1,454 career penalty minutes.
I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
You're gonna die for some chickens.
Someone is.
And then we have our headliner,
Man.
David Schultz,
Game of
aka
Thrones,
the
not the
Hammer,
last
coming
season.
in
It's such a
at
good show.
6'1", 185 pounds,
Yep.
with 2,294 career penalty minutes. Okay, this man still has the record for the most amount of penalty time in a single season at 472 minutes. 8 hours of penalty time in a single
Christ.
season. The man could have watched all 3 Lord of the Rings, the director's cuts, while he was sitting inside the box. In a single season, he once got in 34 fights.
This is
Okay,
what he said,
that's a lot of
76.
fights, but B,
That's
to
a
put that into
50-year-old
perspective, at that
record for
point in time,
violence.
The team average for the rest of the league was 30 fights for the team
7.86
collectively, and
hours.
this guy got in 34
A
fights
whole
by
fucking
himself.
work
He
day.
literally once got in a fight while the referee was on the ice announcing how many penalty minutes he had to serve for the fight he just got in 30 seconds prior. And as a cherry on top,
Dude,
they
that's
hire
like
a new head coach
that
by
is
the name
like
of
committing a
Freddie
personal foul in football, and while they're reading out the flag, you punch a coach. It's just like, can you give us a minute, please? And then we'll get to it.
Stop. He's already down.
Dude, it's like they're ejecting you for a personal foul, and while you're being led off the field, you just punch a fan in the face, and you're like, haha.
Metcalf.
Seahawk. Oh no, he was a Steeler at the time. He was your golden goose. I'm glad you paid him all that money.
We still like him.
He's still a Steeler.
One of us has to. He was in my division, so I hate him.
DK's still a Steeler.
Oh yeah.
Till he gets himself thrown in jail. That's all I'm saying. You go punching fans too much, all you're saying, he's gonna catch himself a case.
Now. We got DK and Pittman now. We're good.
Steelers made some.
We just don't have a quarterback right now. Who knows?
You don't have a lot. You don't have a lot going into this season.
Will Howard. So does Aaron Rodgers.
I kind of like Will Howard, but he's untested.
Only time will tell.
Fog Shiro, a former boxer and philosopher that primarily studies Sun Tzu and Alexander the Great. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, the Philadelphia Flyers are basically just planning to go to war, and David Clark is probably the safest man in the NHL at this point. So for the next couple of seasons, the Flyers go out and they literally just start beating the shit out of the enemy team, so much so that they almost immediately get the nickname the Broad Street Bullies, and all the other teams and their fan hate the Philadelphia
I feel like
Flyers.
in Philly,
It gets
that's
so
not
bad
even
that
like an
there's,
insulting
actually
name.
newspaper
That's like
articles
an
and shit.
adored
The
title.
newspaper
probably
is
loved
telling
it.
locals
That was. I wouldn't be surprised if they were putting that on their own merch. They're like, yeah, dude, we're bullies. We'll beat the fuck out of you. We hate you.
I'm sure named after it.
There probably is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the Broad Street or the Bully?
Honestly, like I would believe it.
Just a
Like,
knuckle sandwich.
yeah, dude, it's a picture, and it's just a blank picture, and it's your picture here, and then when they go to take it, they punch you in the face while they take it, and then they print it on the shirt. It's like a Times Square tourist trap. Walk in, get punched in the face by the goalie, and then you put your broken tooth in a necklace.
Amazing. How much do I owe you? 10,000.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's a steal.
Oh, you're gonna steal from me too. Oh, damn.
Dude, and this is the 70s, right? The late 60s, early 70s. So this is Philly. Every single one of these players is like 4 shots in before they even get on the ice. They're like, yeah, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. I could drink half a bottle of a Jack.
70's probably honestly coked up.
Yeah, dude, that's probably why they're such good fighters. They just don't even feel it. They just beat someone until they run out of fucking steam.
They were honestly probably coked up.
Dude, I mean, hey, they didn't drug test back then. We didn't have the technology for that.
No, they tested drugs.
Yes.
They tested a lot of drugs.
This is indeed coke.
Yeah, I've confirmed, guys. This is good. We should all test it at the same time right before we start playing the sport.
Who needs
from
a high
different
five?
cities whenever the Flyers show up for an away game. The Philadelphia Flyers are coming. Lock up your wives and kids.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
But
They're
the
a menace.
Philadelphia Flyers don't really give a shit because guess what? All those other teams aren't the ones that are showing up to watch the Philadelphia Flyers game, which is how they make money. The Philadelphia Flyers end up winning more.
Dude,
and
if the
fighting
fans
more,
are in
which
on it,
guess
dude,
what?
go
Both
for
of
it.
those put asses in seats, and that makes money, and that's the entire goal. During this time, the Flyers end up having winning seasons every year. They have their
Bro, they don't even have helmets at this point.
They don't need 'em.
Philadelphia falls in love with the
No,
Broad
that's just
Street
even even better.
And while
Dude,
the win
CTE
alone
didn't
is probably
exist in
enough
the
to fill out an
70s.
entire stadium, it's more than that.
Yep,
because
yeah.
Broad Street
It's-
Bullies
it's
become like
new.
cultural icons in Philadelphia. It becomes well known to all the Flyers fans that after every single home game, the Flyers are going to be going across the street to their bar, Rexy's Bar and Grill, and you can actually go drink with your home team after they win a game. And then every weekend,
that's
the
so
Flyers
cool.
are going out drinking
That's so
and
cool.
Yeah, you
playing
know they're not
slow
worried
pitch
about getting
softball. So not only
run
can you
out
go
on.
and watch your team.
Well, yeah, I mean, back then. Well, yeah, I mean, I think they'd win that bar fight.
I don't think back then is the problem. Yeah, it's they will win.
Yeah, it's the biggest threat is the guy who tries something. That's one of the things I miss about sports.
Teammates when you get too drunk. And
Well,
forget who's
that's one of the things I miss about sports. These days, you can't have that. Like if you're like a Chiefs fan, right? Which I know, gross Chiefs fans.
You will never meet.
But
those
it's like
people.
you're not gonna meet half the Chiefs O-line at a bar across the street. It's because they're all with private security because they're worried about crazy people who are gonna like shoot someone or call in a bomb threat or something. And you don't get the camaraderie anymore that you got in some of the older sports.
Yeah, that's cool. They just go across the street to a
Yeah.
bar like that and just go drink with your fans.
Yeah, dude, and imagine watching like a buzzer beater victory, and then it's like that was amazing. Let's all go get shit-faced 60 feet to the left, and they're still in like their jerseys and they're still in their uniforms. They're signing shit. Oh, that'd be so fun. You bring like your kid to the bar because it's the 70s. They didn't card. You bring your 6-year-old. You give him like a shot of Patron, and you get his fucking face signed by the goalie.
Hey, teach him young, get him good on tequila.
Yeah, right. Yeah, listen, if you build up a tolerance early, then it all works out.
And
Absolutely.
fight. You could literally go have a beer with them at the bar and then show up on the weekend and play beer softball the entire time. Like Philadelphia falls in love with these dudes. Like these are not just the people they look up to.
Softball with
They're like their
professional
friends.
leagues.
These
That'd
guys
just
are
be so
family
fun.
to the entire city. But just because the team's winning doesn't mean that entire sport's going to become more popular and you're suddenly going to care about hockey because your local team has a good record. Bullshit.
I agree. That's exactly what happened with the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs audience before Mahomes.
And no fans
and
until
now.
Mahomes started winning.
Yeah, people who are Chiefs fans quintupled between Patrick Mahomes making it to the playoffs every single year and also all the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift nonsense. People will absolutely jump on the bandwagon in your local area if you're better. Like when the Rams, I've been a Rams fan my whole life. When the Rams sucked in St. Louis from 2004 onward, nobody fucking cared. Nobody went to the game. When we started getting good in 2016, 2017, wouldn't you know it, everyone was a Rams fan all of a sudden. And then eventually we made it to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots again. You know, I'm not bitter, you're bitter. But that is 100% how sports works. People will root for the people who win, especially if they're not already invested. That is just a ridiculous idea.
Yeah, like Cole said, we're Mets fans.
Well, exactly. Listen.
We're used to heartbreak and disappointment.
And we're also Steelers fans, so look at the last fucking 9 years.
Ugh.
Listen, Mets.
Dude, we're going
fans,
through the ringer right now.
Listen, Mets fans have it rough, but listen, you guys had Grimace and Hawk Tua Girl. You're this
Don't
close.
bring her into this.
Don't
This
bring
was
that
Grimace.
scamming Hawk
That
Tua
all was
into this.
Grimace. That's why Cole's truck is named Grimace.
Listen, you were this close. This year for sure. Right? This year for sure. All you need is a VTuber to sing the national anthem on your opening day like the Dodgers keep getting, and you'll win. Because the Dodgers have done that twice, and you know how many World Series they've won? 2. So clearly there's a positive correlation between getting a cute anime girl to sing the national anthem at your stadium and winning the World Series.
For all the Japanese players.
Just defer all the money ever.
Dude, hey, it's apparently a strategy. But what I will say,
It's a strategy that's looking like it's going to get
They
banned.
probably get the money from Houston.
dude, I do like. I don't know if you caught it though. I really do like how in order to like, he's building a straw man to argue against because he knows what people are gonna say. I like that he put on like a tactical helmet and he's holding a keyboard, and he's like a keyboard warrior. So he's like a fucking redditor, and so it's like he's literally a keyboard warrior. He's wearing like fucking body armor. And it's to make a stupid point on the internet that he knows he could take apart in 2 seconds with 5 seconds of thought about how sports function.
Okay, I was alive in 2008 when Michael Phelps went over to fucking China and swam really good, and all of a sudden the entire country of the United States.
That's a perfect
pretended
example.
that
Who the
swimming
fuck
was
is about
awesome.
swimming
Hey, I was
unless we're
there.
winning?
I saw it with my own eyes. One day, nobody gave a fuck about
Literally,
swimming.
I
The
remember
next day,
watching
the news
those
came out and was
Phil
like, hey,
Jackson
have you
too.
guys seen this fucking stoner with arms down to his ankles that can swim faster than most Americans can run? He's winning a bunch of gold medals in the Olympics. Suddenly, swimming was the shit. Okay, don't tell me winning doesn't matter.
Dude,
So
have you,
things are
dude,
going great
that
for the
picture of him with all the
Flyers. They've got more
gold
money,
medals on
more
his arms off.
means
Michael
better
Phelps is a
players, so
baller.
they go out and they buy some more skilled players to help out David
this year
Clark
now
on
is
the
all
offensive
about
end.
hockey.
They pick up future Hall of Famer Bill Barber and Reggie the Rifle Leach. So now the Broad Street Bullies are going to go out there, beat everybody up, get them nice and soft. These guys are going to go in, score a bunch of goals. It's almost a perfect plan. They just have to make sure that nobody scores goals on them. So they go out there and they pick up future Hall of Famer, legendary goalie Bernie Perreault. I cannot stress to you how good of a goalie this guy turned out to be. It became a saying in Philadelphia at this point in time that only God saves more than Bernie Perreault. So they've assembled a dream team. They go out in this next season and they crush absolutely everybody.
That's why it's called a hockey
50
match.
wins. They have 100 fights,
you know what?
1,750 penalty minutes. They end up winning the Stanley Cup. Next season, they go out, they do the exact same thing, even harder. This is the season where David the Hammer Schultz gets 34 fights and sets the record for the most penalty minutes. They go and win the Stanley Cup again 2 times in a row. Now, that happened in May of 1975, and in 1975, it's kind of this period of cooling down for the Cold War, right? The Vietnam conflict
we were in the
is coming
good
to an
part
end
of the Cold War.
The space race
Air
is
quotes.
over. Like,
Yes,
things
good.
are,
I was
things are
about
kind
to
of
say air
improving, so to
quotes.
speak. There's still
Editor's note, it was not good. The whole Cold War was bad. It was just better. At risk of turning into a conspiracy theorist, the Cold War sucked.
In person right now that you would like normally write down and not actually say, you would like feed it in, but you're just doing it now live.
Oh yeah, because then I get to do less work. See, that's
that's
the trick.
fair. I was just clarifying what was going on.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, listen, if I get started,
the audience can figure it out.
If I get started on the fucking government in the 60s and 70s, I'm gonna get going, and then I'm gonna start getting into the government in the 1980s and 90s. Dude, listen, I'm gonna bring up Waco, Ruby Ridge, the CIA, the moon landing.
Okay. Listen, I'm restricting myself too. I know you are too, and I'm sure Onyx is too. This is so weird not using your real name. Yeah, no, we could all very easily run off on tangents on things that cannot be on YouTube.
We are very heavily practicing self-restraint. I want to bring up Marvin Heedermeyer so bad right now, but I won't.
I want to bring up things about politics.
Anyway, hockey.
A lot of issues. There's still an arms race going on, but like tensions are lower than they have been in decades. And because of this, the governments of America and the Soviet Union allow the Soviet Red Army hockey team to come over to America to have some exhibition matches with professional NHL teams.
Yeah, for
These
fun.
are not treated like exhibition matches, okay? These are the most important games on the planet right now. This is capitalism versus communism on ice. And the Soviet team is absolutely stacked. Every single person on this team has at least one, if not multiple, Olympic gold medals. They all have like 5 or 6 world championship titles. They're a good hockey team, as much as it pains me to say that, but it's the truth.
He said it.
So in December of
Everybody gets one.
The Red Army team
You get
comes
one
over to
compliment
America
about
and beats the
communism.
New York Rangers 7-3. A couple weeks later, January 8th, 1976, they play the Boston Bruins, complete blowout 5-2. And now the only team they have left to play 3 days later on January 11th, 1976 is the Philadelphia Flyers, the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and the entire world is watching. People that don't even know hockey, understand it, or have ever cared about hockey in their
during
entire
the
lives.
Olympics
are tuning in to watch
literally
this game.
us. Literally us during every Olympics. I was like, I don't know anything about luge, but we're the best goddamn lugers there is. Don't even start with me.
We're the best.
That was literally like, we were watching the hockey. We don't know shit about hockey, but we're like, we're going against the Canadians. We got to kick their asses.
We have a higher number than them.
Yeah.
So that means we're doing good.
Yeah, my number is better. That means I'm better than you. I don't give a shit about your socialized healthcare. I win because my athlete was better than your athlete.
We had to win.
My country sunk millions of dollars into researching leotards to make it more wind resistant. That means I'm better than you. Don't you understand this? See you again in 2 years.
And put to good work.
Fucking event. People that have never cared about hockey in their entire lives are suddenly Philadelphia Flyer fans. People that have watched hockey their entire lives, that have hated the Philadelphia Flyers for years because they are the villains of the NHL, are now suddenly rooting for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Oh God,
they're
those
no
are
longer
Patriots.
the villains. They're the anti-heroes that America needs to go out and shut down the Soviet Red Army team. Big problem, elephant in the room, Bernie Perreault, our goalie, is hurt and he's not going to be able to play this game. We're running on the backup goalie. What are we going to do? Coach Freddie the Fog Shiro realizes that the Soviets skate and move and play the game different than any NHL team, right? NHL teams is like, stop, go, do this. The Soviets are moving constantly. They're always circling. They're constantly skating. They're always
just gonna burn themselves out. Let them get tired, bro.
So Freddie says here's a strategy. Rather than chasing the puck like we normally do, we're going to chase them instead. We're going to put so much pressure on them that they can't do all this pretty ballerina on ice bullshit. Basically, we're going to play like the Soviets play, but more violent.
They're just the fucking globetrotters of hockey.
To our level. Violence is not the answer, it's the question. The answer is yes, okay? It makes perfect sense. If we control the puck,
hey, that works for me, man.
It doesn't matter who we have guarding the net. Do you know what's better than having really good body armor and getting shot? Not getting fucking shot.
If we win, I'm going to be sky high, and if we lose, I think it'll be worse than dying.
So the Red Army and the Flyers
I can respect it. I mean, we're talking about a hockey game here, but I can respect it.
Pristine uniforms. They've got their little helmets on. The Philadelphia Flyers come out there, no helmets, no teeth, complete fucking goon squad. They go out there, they stick to the plan. They start beating the shit out of the Soviets. And when I say them, I don't just mean like the big enforcer type dudes like
put them into the wall.
No, every single player on the Flyers team is playing super aggressive hockey, even their skill players. The plan is working exactly how they had hoped. The Soviets have like almost no possession time with the puck. Out of the first 13 shots of the game, the Philadelphia Flyers took 12 of them. Right out of the gate, the Soviets are getting absolutely fucking smoked, and they have no answers for the Philadelphia Flyers. So Karmelov, the Soviet team captain, their golden boy, their main character, goes out there. He gets checked when he has the puck. Wasn't even a hard check. Wasn't worthy of a foul. Wasn't anything. The dude flops like LeBron or some soccer player hoping to get a foul called. He lays there rolling around the ground crying.
Is that not the story of every contact sport? Oh no, I'm losing. Let me take a literal dive. Wah, wah, wah. Give me free points because I can't beat them. I need a hand me out. That's why I don't watch the NBA. It's like the wind of his hand brushed my neck. I need 7 free penalty shots. Otherwise, this game isn't fair.
Your original statement's wrong. You said every contact sport does it when they're losing. What's the excuse for soccer? They do it on the first play.
Well, that's because they're European.
I'm sorry. Football.
It's because they're European.
We're in America,
default.
we say soccer.
See, no, that's the problem. When 2 Europeans are fighting each other in soccer, they're already both the losers. So whenever they do it, they're the losing team.
Fighting. I've seen more aggressive rock, paper, scissors games.
Please, it's called Boulder Parchment Shears. Say it right.
Our rock, paper, scissors is I punch now.
Yeah. I've decided you lose.
He's going to call this foul. The ref basically has to go over to the Soviet coach and is like, that was a clean hit. I'm not calling it. Tell your guy to get the fuck up. I'm going to hit you with a delay of game. So the Soviet coach throws a fucking hissy fit and tells all of his players, we're done playing this game, head out to the locker room. And the Soviets fucking leave. They
wow.
And they just fucking dip. It's still 0-0. And now the world is not going to have answers on who's actually the best at playing hockey. Now,
greatest country in the world, by the way. Couldn't even finish a hockey game.
What's going on. Minutes are going by like hours. Like, is the game over? Should I go home and try to beat the traffic out of the stadium? Like, what's the deal? And the NHL commissioner, Clarence Campbell, is like, okay, hold on. In a moment of genius, he hates the fucking Philadelphia Flyers, by the way, but he's rooting for them right now, and he wants this game to continue. So he's like, okay, they're communist. They want a moneyless, classless, stateless society. Fuck it, let's put that to the test. He goes to the locker room and tells the Soviet coach, I'm not going to pay you guys the $200,000 you were supposed to get paid for this series unless you get your fucking ass back out on that ice and play hockey. Okay. And just like that, the Soviets magically decided that they were going to go back out.
What do you know? Money talks, ethics walks. When $200,000 are on the line, all of a sudden, equality don't sound too good, does it?
Yeah, $200,000 back then.
That would have been
that's
like
millions.
$1 million.
That's millions. That's multiple millions now. Even then, communism, it's all about, oh, no one should have more than anybody else. I bet you they weren't going to split. I bet you they weren't going to split that $200,000. You think they were going to give that to the poor people? That was going in their pocket.
We're looking this up. That we have technology.
Yeah, through the power of technology. I say it's probably $2 million.
Could have done 5 years ago and it wouldn't have been as bad. But
1.143.
1.143.
So 1.5 million will cost
$1.5 million bucks.
1.5.
1.5. And they cracked immediately. Classic Russians.
Yeah, I would crack for $1 million too.
Yeah, but you don't make the claim to be like, to not like money. That was the communism's whole thing. Oh, we don't need capitalism. We don't need money. All men are fucking equal in the breadlines or whatever the hell they believe.
Vodka's expensive, and how are they going to fly back?
Yeah, dude, potatoes don't grow themselves. What do you think? You just put them in the ground and they make more potatoes? That's ridiculous. Looks at camera.
this hockey game, okay? Capitalism just won in real life. Let's see if it can win on the ice. The game starts back up. It's 17 seconds in. Reggie, the rifle leech, scores the first goal. 5 minutes later, they score another goal. They've had the puck pretty much the entire time. They're absolutely dominating.
I like that he plays a gunshot every time he says the rifle. It's funny.
So Joe Watson, one of the lesser-known Philadelphia Flyers, dude was on the team that won the Stanley Cup this year, and he only scored 1 goal the entire season. He goes up, he scores a goal on the Soviet goaltender that is supposedly the greatest goalie on the planet at this point in time. Everybody in the stadium except for the Soviets, the crowd, the Flyers themselves goes absolutely fucking nuts. He goes back up to the bench and Freddie the Fog tells him, you just set Soviet hockey back by 20 years. After that, the Soviets do manage to squeak 1 goal in there past the Flyers, so they immediately return the favor, scoring a 4th goal.
It's a garbage
the game ends
time
4-1. The Flyers dominated the entire time. The Flyers took 49 shots and the Soviets only got to take 13. In the post-game interview, David Clark, the captain for the Philadelphia Flyers and the MVP, pulls up, no helmet.
Look at this frame. No, this is the most American frame I could ever think of. This is some like fucking Philly brawler, no front teeth because he got him punched out of his head, wearing no helmet, but goddamn is he smiling because he just won a hockey game.
Those 2 front teeth.
I don't know. We got a pretty good one this year after the Olympics.
This is America manifest. He's looking at his boss who's about to write him a check for a ton of money for beating the Russians, and he's like, oh boy, I'm gonna go buy a beer. He's not gonna buy new teeth. He's not gonna go buy a helmet. He's gonna buy alcohol and maybe some Coke, and then tell you what, next season he's gonna come back, he's gonna do it all over again. That's America right there. You gotta give him credit for that.
Front teeth and says, just so we're all on the same page, this doesn't prove that North American style hockey is better than Soviet hockey. This proves that the Philadelphia Flyers are better than their best. And that's probably why Disney didn't want to cover this in the movie. It's not
I can see why Disney didn't take this version of events.
About winning or losing, it's about how you play the game. No, this is a story about how
winning,
sometimes
baby.
Violence is effective and being the bigger bully fucking works. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is to buy some merch over the Electrician.
God, America's such a good country. I love the fact that we can all agree that I don't necessarily like people from Philly. But if people from Philly in 1976 were being red-blooded Americans and just beating up a bunch of communists and also happen to beat them in a sports game, whatever, I can respect that. But this is like, you can see why I love watching this guy's videos, because it's like I watch a lot of his military history stuff because I like military history. But it's like I don't watch a ton of his. This is technically his second channel. I don't watch a ton of his like second channel stuff because it's kind of disjointed. It's just like about random really cool things that happened, like this very specific hockey game, or like I think he did a video about Waffle House. Like I see it, and so it's like they're not really related, but they're just cool stories. And it's like I like cool stories, so it's like I don't mind watching. Like, I know nothing about hockey, and I'll admit that. I if you put a hockey game on in front of me, I won't pay attention to it. But he tells the story in a way that I can get behind, and I respect that.
Because we beat up the communists.
Yeah. Well, more, and to a certain degree, I've been looking at the background of his video, and, you know, I've noticed that I'm willing to bet he's putting a lot of high-value merchandise, mainly that rifle in the back left, that I'm guarantee was there so that he could like tax right off the cost of the rifle. Like he's gonna buy it for $3,000, and then he's like, "Well, I got it. Dude, I used it for filming. I used it for recording. So now I got to give it to my tax guy, right? And I got to mark off that I lost $3,000, and now he's got a shiny new rifle, and he doesn't have to pay any more taxes."